Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about a state that I think a lot of us, especially high achievers, know all too well. It's that feeling of being incredibly productive on the outside, but feeling totally empty on the inside. This is all about understanding what functional freeze is, and, way more importantly, how we can start to thaw out from it.
Does this hit close to home? You're basically moving through life like a ghost in your own machine. You're ticking all the right boxes, you're doing all the things, but all the color and feeling has just vanished. You're there, but you're not really there.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by really unpacking this paradox. Then we'll look at the ancient wiring in our brains that actually causes it and explore the mental traps that keep us so stuck. And then we'll get into the good stuff, the practical steps for thawing out, starting with the body and then moving to the mind.
All right, so let's tackle the main conflict here. This isn't your classic burnout, where you can't even get out of bed. This is about being fully up, walking, talking, working, all while feeling completely paralyzed on the inside.
And this is the most important part to get right off the bat. Functional freeze is a survival mode. It is not a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's your nervous system trying to protect you from being overwhelmed by just hitting this internal mute button so you can keep going without feeling the full, crushing weight of your stress.
In this slide, wow, this really spells out what it feels like, right? It's that constant fatigue that no amount of coffee can seem to touch. It's feeling disconnected, even from people you love. And oh my gosh, the overthinking of small decisions, like staring at a menu at a restaurant and feeling utterly incapable of choosing what you want. To everyone else, you look like you've got it all together, but inside, you just feel stuck.
So why does this even happen? Well, to really get it, we need to look at our brain's ancient wiring. We are, essentially, running Stone Age software in a world that's filled with Slack notifications and overflowing email inboxes. It's a mismatch.
This is the perfect way to put it. Your nervous system's threat response is incredibly powerful and lightning fast because it evolved to save you from, being eaten by a lion. The problem is it can't tell the difference between a real physical threat and a passive-aggressive email from your boss. It just screams, "Threat!" And this brings us to this idea of the amygdala hijacked. It sounds technical, but it was a term made popular by Daniel Goleman. All it really means is that your brain's emotional alarm bell, the amygdala, takes over. It happens so fast that it completely bypasses your slower, more logical, rational brain. So here's how it goes down, in just milliseconds. A modern stressor hits. The amygdala sounds the alarm, which kicks your whole stress response system into gear, flooding you with hormones. But, and this is the key, you can't fight your supervisor. You can't run away from your mortgage. So when fight or flight just aren't options, your nervous system defaults to its third choice, freeze. And here's the real paradox. When your body gets stuck in this freeze state, your mind does the complete opposite. It kicks into overdrive. It starts racing, trying to think its way out of a problem that isn't really a thinking problem at all. This overthinking usually shows up in two main flavors. First, you've got rumination. That's when you're stuck replaying a past mistake over and over again. And then you have worry, which is when you're just constantly rehearsing future disasters. One's stuck in what was, the other is stuck in what if. This table breaks it down so well. Rumination feels like sadness, guilt, inadequacy. It's always asking why. Why did I do that? Worry, on the other hand, feels like anxiety and dread. It spins out these endless what-if scenarios. But both of them are just a mental hamster wheel, burning up all your energy and getting you absolutely nowhere. So why can't we just stop overthinking? Well, the answer is a layer deeper. It's not actually about the thoughts themselves. It's about what we believe about our thoughts. And that is the metacognitive trap.
Metacognition. It sounds like a big word, but it's really just thinking about your thinking. And it turns out, our beliefs about our own thinking process are the very things that fuel that overthinking engine and keep it running on high.
And it's so sneaky because it usually starts with a belief that feels helpful. You think, if I worry about this long enough, I'll solve it. I'll be prepared. This positive belief gives you permission. It even motivates you to start that overthinking loop. It feels like the responsible thing to do. But then when the thinking doesn't lead to a solution and it just won't stop, a second, much darker belief takes over. You start to think, I have no control over this. These thoughts are going to make me go crazy. And now you're not just worrying about the problem, you're worrying about worrying. That is the core of the trap. So this leads us to the most important question of all. If the problem starts in the body's threat system, and it's kept alive by these mental loops, then trying to think harder is clearly not the answer. So
where do we even begin?
And right here, this is where the big shift happens. You begin with the body. The very first step to thawing the functional freeze is to send signals of safety directly to your nervous system. You have to calm that physiological alarm before you can even begin to deal with all the mental noise.
A super powerful and immediate way to do this is with a grounding technique. The 5-4-3-2-1 method is so effective because it literally forces your brain to disengage from abstract worry and reconnect with physical reality. It's a direct command to your mind. Hey, stop spinning about the future or the past and pay attention to what's right here, right now. It pulls you out of your head and back into your senses. And here are a few other body-based resets you can try. Splashing cold water on your face, that actually triggers a physiological response that can lower your heart rate. Gentle, rhythmic movements, like just walking or stretching, signal safety to your brain. Even humming a song for a few minutes can calm your nervous system. And that last one, it's subtle, but it's so powerful. Just letting yourself want something without having to do anything about it can start to gently thaw that emotional numbness.
Okay, so once you started to calm your body down, then you can start to work on changing your relationship with your mind. And this isn't about stopping your thoughts or trying to win a fight against them. It's about learning how to unhook from them.
And this is the key skill, detached mindfulness. I love this metaphor of thoughts as clouds, passing by. You notice them, you acknowledge them. Oh, there's a worry cloud, but you don't have to climb on it and ride it into a storm. You don't have to answer the phone every single time a worry calls. You can just let it ring. They're just mental events, not facts.
And here is a brilliant, practical way to build this skill. Instead of letting a worry hijack your whole day, you schedule an appointment with it. When a worry pops up at noon, you just acknowledge it and say, okay, I see you. I'll think about you at 5 p.m. during my worry time. This does two amazing things. 1, it breaks the urgency of the worry cycle. And 2, it proves to your brain that you actually do have control over how and when you engage with your thoughts.
Look, at the end of the day, thawing from a functional freeze isn't about some huge life overhaul. It's about taking small, gentle steps to reconnect with your body and change your relationship with your mind. It's about choosing to be present instead of perfect, and starting to be the main character in your own life again. So the question is, what's one small step you can take today to be a little more present?